Today's video will cover some light spoilers for the book Queen's Shadow. A question I've seen pop up over and over again is why didn't the Jedi, the Republic, or Padme try to rescue Shmi Skywalker from slavery after the events of The Phantom Menace? At long last, the book has given us an answer. After the Battle of Naboo, Padme had to focus on her own people. They had to rebuild their planet, they amended the Constitution to allow Gungans to vote, and there were a lot of arguments about installing defenses into their largely peaceful planet to safeguard it against future invasions. That resulted in the ion pulse we see in Battlefront 2. Basically, Padme was just really busy for years. Meanwhile, the Republic, unfortunately, didn't really care. I think Qui-Gon would have, but he wasn't around anymore. Tatooine wasn't part of their government, and was under the control of the Hutts. Kicking down doors to free slaves would have caused a lot of political problems that the Republic just didn't want to deal with. So when Padme's term as queen was up, before she was even appointed to become senator, she had plans to take on the mission herself. Palpatine caught wind of it and discouraged her, maybe because he didn't want Anakin's mother around as an unnecessary complication. That's just a guess on my part. He recommended the new queen appoint her senator so she wouldn't be able to personally start freeing slaves. So Padme sends one of her handmaidens, Sabe, to Tatooine instead. The plan was to buy and free as many slaves as she could, but Shmi was specifically a target for liberation. The locals didn't really trust Sabe and were hesitant to give out any information. She searched high and low for Shmi but couldn't find any sign of her or Watto in Mos Espa. The only clue she uncovered was a white sun recently carved into the door of the old Skywalker house. Sabe was disappointed, and Padme felt intense guilt at having failed the woman who gave up everything to let her son have a better life. Of course, we know that she was already with the Lars family. Sabe probably just missed her if the recent carving is any indication. What's interesting is that Aunt Beru's maiden name was White Sun. I can't imagine that's a coincidence, so I think it's likely that Beru, her family, and maybe the Lars were all involved in anti-slavery movements on Tatooine. Maybe they targeted Shmi since they knew Watto had fallen on hard times after losing everything in the Boonta Eve. That's something I wouldn't mind hearing more about. Owen has had some solid characterization in the Star Wars comics, but Beru has been largely ignored except for a short story and from a certain point of view. I think exploring a young activist Beru could be pretty cool. But that's your answer. Padme did try to find and free Shmi, but was too late. I briefly covered this in my comprehensive facts video about Queen's Shadow, but I thought it was worth going into a little more detail. You can see that video right here if you're interested. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.